Should AI, online auto brokers, and consumers having the ability to buy cars completely online worry you as a salesperson? Hell yeah, it should. But here's what we can do to make sure it doesn't affect you. Welcome to Car Talk, where I give you my 20 years of experience on my 20-minute drive to work. Alright, so if you're worried about AI replacing you, or you've been seeing on TikTok and Facebook all these online car brokers who go in and negotiate the deals for you, the channels where now you can just buy a car completely online, Carvana, all that stuff. If you're worried about that taking your job, we got to get real for a second. Okay, are you sitting down? Maybe you need to stand up. Maybe you need a little more energy in your life. But if you're really worried about it, I would be willing to bet it's because you're average or sub-average at your job. I'd be willing to bet that. I don't think that if you're a great salesperson and you're the top of the dealership, I don't think that the AI, online tools, and all this stuff, I don't think it bothers you. And here's why. Because car sales, from the beginning of time, even till now, it's a relationship business. It's what it is. Okay? It might change a little bit. The customer might not seek you out to get all the information because they got tired of getting lied to for so long. So now they're willing to get a little bit of information online themselves and do their own research, opposed to going to the dealership and the salesperson not knowing what they're talking about and just straight lying to the customer. So now they're probably gonna, they go online, they get a little bit of their own information, they kind of figure out the direction that they want. But at the end of the day, they wanna be sure that that's the right product. They wanna come in and they wanna ask the questions that they've researched, and they wanna get validation. They wanna test drive the car. They wanna make sure that the car's comfortable, it fits their needs, that it actually has the technology that they did on the research. They wanna buy the vehicle, and they don't want a hassle. They want it just a simple, easy transaction. But you, as an average salesperson, make this process so difficult. When they walk in and they ask a question and you say, I don't know, that's why they're not coming to see you. That's why they're going to these other channels, because you don't know. And then I know that there's so much product knowledge out there. There's so much information out there. But you simply telling the customer that you don't know something is probably the first step to the customer not trusting the dealership. So if you're worried about all these products and all these tools that are out there taking your job away, you got to get better. You got to decide to get better at it. Learn your product knowledge. If you can't overcome some basic objections and basic, hesitation on the customer side, if you can't overcome that, you got a problem. If you can't actually build a relationship with a stranger that walks in the door, you got a problem. If you see a customer that pulls onto the lot and the first thing you do is you look around to see if there's going to be another salesperson that's willing to talk to that customer so you don't have to, that's the problem. Okay? It's not these channels, it's you. Customers don't just walk right into the dealership and pick out a vehicle and buy it anymore. Okay? That happened one time in my life, and that was during COVID. And that was the craziest thing I've ever experienced. But that ain't coming again. That's gone. That was the weirdest time I've ever had, and it made really lazy, terrible, bad habits out of salespeople. And if salespeople just got into the industry in that time frame, they don't even know what to do right now. But if you really just scale it back to how simple sales is, you'll realize that all of these other channels don't matter. They're all just noise, okay? And they're just choices for the customer. Because in my opinion, I think customers, they want to do a little research on their own. They want to get a little research from you. They want to start maybe some of the process online. They want to finish some of the process at the store. I don't think a customer wants to do all of it by themselves. And I don't think customers want to do it all at the dealership. I think they want to do a little bit on their own. They want to do a little bit at the dealership. And depending on how the visit to the dealership goes, will determine how much they want to do at the dealership. They come into the dealership and they have a terrible experience. Yeah, they might try to finish it up online by themselves and maybe go to a different dealership. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're going to try a couple different dealerships and just have bad experiences and salespeople, aren't really being helpful. I think some of these things that you can really take to heart are really simple things that you can do. The last time you let a customer go on a test drive in the car, okay? You got the car, you pulled it up, you're going to let them test drive. Did you have them adjust their seat where it's comfortable? Did you have them adjust the rear view mirror? Did you have them adjust the side mirrors? Did you show them how the radio worked? Did you hook their phone up to the car? Did you show them how to use the blinker? Did you show them how to use the technology? Or did you just assume when they pulled in a 10-year-old model that they're so smart that they'll know exactly how to use your product? Or are you just going to let them go sitting all uncomfortable, blind spots that they can't see, they're not really sure what they're doing, and then they go out for the test drive and then they're wondering why the seat's not comfortable, and then they try to adjust the seat as they're driving, and then the wife's or the husband's asking how they work the radio, and they're trying to mess with the radio, can't figure it out. They look in the rear view mirror doesn't work, and then they're just like, this just isn't the car for me. Or were you a professional and you actually slowed it down a bit and you actually adjusted their seat and asked them, are you comfortable? Do you want to adjust it anymore? Hey, how about these side mirrors? Can you see at them? Okay, they do have blind spots. Here's the blind spot indicator. Here's what will happen if it is a blind spot. Hey, what about that rear view mirror? Let's get that adjusted so it feels good. Hey, here's the radio. Here's how you adjust the radio. Hey, would you like to hook up your phone and maybe make a call? That way, when you're on a test drive, you could call somebody that you know and see how clear the communication is, and see if it's, the road noise isn't going to affect the phone calls for you. Do you do all that? That's the problem with sales these days. Complete laziness. You guys just expect the customer to come in and know what they want and just ask you permission. Can I please buy the car? I've done some research online and I'd just like to buy the car. That shit doesn't happen anymore. I don't know where you guys are from tripping, but that doesn't happen anymore, okay? You got to actually put in a little work. You got to be a little bit passionate about what you do. You got to actually try. I've said this in numerous videos. This is the worst and most terrible job to show up and be average at. Terrible. But it's the best job to show up if you're passionate and you actually do your job. It's the best job. So I would look in the mirror if you're worried about this AI and you're worried about these online brokers and you're worried about they can just buy the whole car online. If you're worried about that, I would look in the mirror and really look at your process. Look at the very basics. When you show up and a customer pulls into the dealership and you go outside and say hi. Okay, what's that meet and greet process? Do you build rapport with the customer? Do you fact find? Do you figure out why they're here, why they're shopping for a vehicle? Do you figure out what channels they went online and what kind of research they've done and what vehicles that they're comparing to, and why they want to get rid of their vehicle and what's the most important thing about their vehicle that they really love and they want to have in the next vehicle? What's holding them back on the vehicle that they have now that's not making them happy? What would they want in the new vehicle? Are you asking any of those questions? Do you know where they live? Do they have kids? Do they have family? Why did they pick your dealership? Out of all the dealerships they could have went to, why did they pick your dealership? Have they had a good experience last time they went to buy a car? Was it a terrible experience? All these things you need to know in order to be efficient at your job and actually help the customer out. But most of you probably aren't doing it. And I don't know why. Then the customer leaves, and you complain about the customer, just wasting your time. Customer doesn't know what they want. And you sit, you and the other salespeople that ain't selling nothing, you guys are just average, you're talking amongst each other, while you got the person over there who's hustling. He ain't worried about nothing. She ain't worried about nothing. They're over just hustling, doing their job, doing their follow-up, looking on the lot, grabbing every customer they can, taking every phone call, improving every single time they take a phone call. Why can't you just do that? And if you're not passionate about it, get out of the business. Stop wasting everybody's time, especially your own. Go get another job. Go get another job where you can just clock in and you're going to get paid a set hour regardless how you do. But you always know you're just going to get paid this. Manager doesn't really care how you do. Why don't you just go get that job if this isn't the job for you? Because you're wasting your time. You're wasting your ability. You're wasting your potential. And also you're wasting the manager's time. Because the manager, hopefully, he or she cares about your performance and is trying every single day to help you out. And if they're trying that and nothing's moving the needle, they're in a hard spot. Because you know what? This day and age, it doesn't seem like you can't just fire somebody. You got to keep giving them chances. You got to write them up. You got to do all this stuff. But most managers, they care so much because they've been through it. They've been in your seat. They showed up. They were terrible. They were average. They were a little bit above average. They got good. And it took work. It took hard work to get that way. It took consistent action and hard work in order to get that way. It didn't happen overnight. So that's why I'm personally not really worried about AI. I use it to my advantage. I'm not worried about online shopping. I encourage customers to do that. Hey, we can do almost everything online, or we can do a portion online and finish up here at the dealership. Totally up to you. However you want to buy the vehicle is how I want to sell it to you. People don't even say that. It's amazing that people don't even actually say that. That people don't even tell the customer that it's okay for the customer to do what they're already doing. Think about it. You're a customer at home. You're sitting, you do a little shopping online, and you want to go into the dealership, get a little bit of information, but then you want to finish a little bit up online. That's what you want to do. And then you go to the dealership, and the dealership doesn't even ask you if you've done any research. And all they want you to do is do the process their way. Or even before they come to the dealership, they send an internet inquiry, and you reach out. And the first thing you ask them is, when can you come to the dealership? When can you come to the dealership? Oh, maybe they're working. Maybe they got family. Hey, maybe they're trying to work a little bit of it out before they go to the dealership. But you don't even ask them that. You don't even ask them that. You just do the laziest thing possible. So yeah, I guess if I was you, and that's what you're doing, I probably would be worried about AI. I probably would be worried about all these other channels. I really would be. But if I worried about it every single day, I wouldn't do it anymore. I'd find something else, because that in your mind, like constantly worrying and stressing about that it's not a way to live life. It's not a way to live life. I couldn't do it. So if you're doing that, I commend you. You got more willpower and strength than I do, because I don't think I could continue to do it. But the great news is, keep following along. I'm going to share everything. I'm going to share everything I go through, everything that I think about the business, and what the customers are going through. Just everything. I'm sharing everything. You know, it might not be the most professional or give it to you the proper way, but hey, I'm just sharing real life stuff that I go through every single day, what I see in the market, what I believe is going on from the customer standpoint, from the salesperson standpoint, from the dealership. Okay, all the tools out there, they're great, but they're just noise. It's a relationship business. Okay.
We all show up, but we ain't built the same. One's chasing glory, one's playing the game. One's got the gift, don't break a sweat. The other's out here grinding with nothing